How's it going, Internet Land? This is Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, or as Aussie Man likes to say, hello, you beautiful bastards. Here's my face. So I'm doing things differently today because I'm reviewing a large figure, and I've had a lot of trouble reviewing large figures in the past, so I'm trying something different with a big old tripod and whatnot. The figure I'm reviewing today is the DX9 Gabriel. This is their take on Omega Supreme. And he's a big bitch. He's a big bastard. He's freaking huge. I think it looks really good though. And again, like I said about the Terminus Giganticus review, I'm not the hugest fan of Omega Supreme, but I mean, that doesn't mean that I can't tell the difference between a crappy Omega Supreme and a good Omega Supreme, and I think this one's pretty decent. The engineering and whatnot on them are pretty great. This comes courtesy of my friend Matthew Billings from titanonetoys. Where did I hide his card? I have his card around here somewhere, though specifically I don't know that I'm necessarily representing his company because I don't think he's got it for sale right now. But there you go. He's always worth checking out, seeing what he's got, what he can get. So I'm just going to stick this somewhere over here. It'll probably move before the end of the review. But yeah, so DX9 Gabriel, and he's really big. When Gabriel and Terminus Giganticus were both in the process of coming out, like there was a big rivalry between the two of them. Oh, who's going to do this? Who's going to do this? What features does this one have? What, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And Terminus Giganticus did come out first. But I do think that DX9 Gabriel is worth the wait. I think the only thing about Gabriel that I don't quite like as much maybe is his face. And I don't have Giganticus on hand. But his face just seems... Let me take this off the tripod. His face just seems a little wonky comparatively. A little more, I don't know. He does come with an alternate face, which you can store in his dick flap. Then he's like, I am constipated. And to change those out, I believe it's just a matter of yanking on this thing. I don't have my usual little tool on me today, but a tool really does help. So you just take that out and you swap this one in. But this one I don't think looks very good. It's his constipated face. And now his face doesn't want to go back in. That sure is frustrating. There we go. Perfect. But yeah, I think he's pretty good looking. In terms of articulation, as you can see, his head moves up and down. There's like a little extension here, and you can get some additional range out of his head, which is nice. Other than that, it will turn basically all the way around. His arm will go out all the way and will rotate pretty much anywhere you need. If his wing wasn't in the way, it would rotate freely, but who really needs their arms to windmill, to be honest? He does have some really clicky bicep joints here. Well, that's his elbow, but some biceps. He's got a waist joint on a soft, buttery detent. Oh, ouch. Ow! It bit me. His leg will go this far forward, that far back, all the way out. His knee will bend 90 degrees. No up and down motion on his toe, but he will ankle tilt that much. Oh, I forgot to mention that he's got a little bit of a rotation up here at the hip. So he can do a pretty natural looking stance. He can also, pull off some poses fairly well. I think that in terms of balance, he's balanced better than Terminus giganticus was. A lot of people complained about Terminus giganticus would fall over because he was really back heavy, and he was really back heavy. And so if you had him standing straight like this, he would inevitably tip back. So you had to tilt his legs, and then he would stand just fine. But so many people complained, "Oh, that's terrible. Why would you have to tilt his legs?" Well, have you ever watched yourself stand? You tilt your legs too. But anyhow, so he makes pretty good looking pose. I forgot to mention on this arm here, his claw will rotate. There's a little light in here actually as well. There's a light in this one here, but I don't believe there's any batteries installed. Or if they are, they're dead already. And then he's got movement at the base of each finger, and then movement in the middle. All right, that's enough for the posability. Let's get him transformed up. First thing I'm going to do is remove his arms. Now, in here, this is very much like the Combiner Wars combination joints. You're going to push this little tab right here, and then that will just slide right out. Usually a good idea to straighten the arm out before you take it off, because it's a tough joint and it's hard to straighten out otherwise. And this will just push in like that. These parts here, I've got these tabs that combine them together. It's a rocket! Oh, hey, before I got them transformed up. I want to do a size comparison. Because, I'm sure most of you, if you guys have him display, he's going to be fighting this guy anyhow. They are a good size for fighting each other. Like, a really good size. Gosh, I love this figure so much. Anyhow, so next thing you want to do here is remove his wings. Just this part opens up and they just come right out. Now, if you lift up these, and then you can take this whole section here, untab it like so, and then it practically just comes right out. Helps to grab it securely and just yank it. I'm going to put this aside from now. And we'll focus on this part here. So as you see, he wants to fold up this way. There's a couple tabs in here, tabs and slots, which will facilitate that. So these go together. But I believe I'm going to fold those in first. A couple pegs that hold this in place. We're going to pull these panels here, just grab them at the top and yank up. This is where we start getting into the first big difference from the transformation of the Terminus Giganticus. A wonderful difference, because the legs for Terminus Giganticus were a complete pain in the butt to transform, and these ones are actually fairly pleasant. So the leg just opens up and it rotates. It's going to come out here. And then rotate like that. Let's pull up this panel on the foot here, bring this all the way around. I rotated this wrong. All right. So now with this brought up, you can take this panel here, fold it back flat. Notice that this thing came out. I'm just going to extend out these sides of it and leave this for now. So for the other leg, let's do this so that you don't, it's not like terribly imbalanced like this. So again, so split this like so. I rotate the wrong way again. Bend this out, open this, open up these parts right here. So for these tabs right here, I'm not sitting behind the camera, so I don't know how well you can see this, but one of them has got a tab and the other one has got a slot, and they're identical, they're just flipped. And so they're just kind of fit together. Like so. Again with this one, pull this panel up, flip that toe all the way around, close that panel. I'm going to put this now. Under these legs, there is a panel that comes out on a double hinge. And it kind of pegs into place. I wanted to show you that one because it's a really simple thing to do, but I wanted to show you one of them before I just do the other one, sitting it down on the ground. This figure is heavy for a transformer, but it's not like heavy for its size because it's really big, but it doesn't weigh much, say, compared to like a baby. But it has parts that stick out, and it's like, it's awkward to handle. And so, like for this step here, it's easiest to just pull up on it and put it in the right place and then put it back down. We're going to take these wings here, open them up, extend out these parts, and then you've got two tabs right here. There's going to be a couple corresponding holes under these parts here. We're going to do that for both sides, obviously. Well, that was right. I think. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take these, and there's little flappy parts here. I'm not sure exactly what the flappy bits are. I think that they're just trying to turn these into something base looking. And there are these tabs right here and these slots right here. So we're just going to take them and peg the tabs into the slots. More or less. Now, last but not least, we're going to take this guy here, and to transform him up, first thing we're going to do is we're going to flip up this panel that's on the front of his face. We're going to take and we're going to rotate this around. Doesn't want to rotate. Why? Let me shorten this down just a little bit. Just so I can get a little closer. So now that rotates around, and then you fold this back down. That leaves this like computer display there. We're going to take and we're going to extend this. We're going to take these, there's little panels here that will clip into place. Disconnect all of this. Now these will rotate all the way around. And these tabs will plug into these slots right here. They will do so quite securely. Then this part here is going to unfold. So before I make this too hard to see, there's a double joint, there's a double hinge right here. And so you're going to fold this all the way out and then fold it in. It was folded down on this inner hinge here. You're going to fold it down on this outer hinge. That'll help get everything lined up. So again, just fold everything out, fold it in on that outer hinge. Then these panels will come out. And everything will line up quite nicely. There's this whole section in here, and if you pull out this panel right here, there's a tab on the end of that that'll fit into a slot right here. And that'll go in like nobody's business. And then last but not least, well actually not quite last, but you've got this section here and you kind of want to fold all this out. And it's supposed to all kind of fold out together, but you really have to babysit it. Then you put these in, and this in. Then you can extend out these cannons. And extend out his little gun. And now he's a tank thing, and you can move these up and down, move these up and down. This part here rotates, points up and down. You can stick it on there. It really doesn't adhere to the track anywhere, because the wheels are, not the same size as, there's really no indentation of the track all along here. And for some people that may be some sort of a deal breaker, but I don't know. I mean, it's a weird thing. As somebody who's not really a fan of Omega Supreme, I'm not exactly certain what people look for in a good Omega Supreme, but I'm looking at this in terms of the engineering looks well. The posability is pretty decent. It's got it's got a fun transformation that doesn't make you want to hate your life. And, you know, I think it's also kind of a perk for people that it comes all in one box, whereas Terminus Giganticus came in 2 boxes. But yeah, so you can take, there's a panel right here that you got to kind of wiggle out. Or, you know, if you have a tool, like a spudger of some sort. I'm literally just using a Lego brick separator. You can yank that out and yank that out. And now you've got like an entry ramp for your rocket. So yeah, that's Terminus Giganticus pretty much. Sorry, Gabriel. And I mean, I think he's all right. Like I said, I'm not really an Omega Supreme kind of a guy. He definitely is Masterpiece scaled for his robot mode, not his vehicle mode. His vehicle mode is probably closer to a Legend scale. I did review the MechFans Toys Huge Dragon, which is Legend scale for his robot mode, but like ant sized for his little base mode. But that pretty much sums up this review. Let's get a good look at him from all angles. There's I guess you could consider this kibble, but you know, he's got a full track and little ramp things here, little rocket things here, little things here, a tank thing here. I don't know. I mean, personally, I think it looks kind of silly from both sides, but that's just me. Sorry, my finger got in the way. But anyhow, that's going to be it for me. You guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you around. Bye.